Whenever we're ready.
Mike.
Craig. Joel's sick of us already.
That part's in the intro.
We
guys.
gotta work on that part of the start of the show. So yeah. So you just want
This is only the third year we've done this.
Yeah, but we've never. Yeah. All right.
Every time.
Every time.
Hey everybody, welcome to Curling Nation Season 3, Episode 2. Insert show title here. We talked about so much stuff there's no one thing we could do. So I'm Joel.
I'm Mike.
Craig.
So we talked about pretty much everything. Some updates on some USCA teams that are doing good in places. What else we talk about? The new Pan Am curling games.
Lots of stuff. Just all the things.
All the things.
No guests.
No guests. Some avocado tips.
But we're gonna have a guest.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good
Be a
one.
great one.
Tune in next time for our awesome guest. No spoilers.
We talked about the USCA,
the
GNCC, the WCF,
the
what
dumpster fire
WTF,
of WTF,
SNL.
USAC, Malort, dumpster fire,
MGD. Oh wait, I'm just throwing out initials now.
PBR, me ASAP.
Mad Dog 2020.
Pass.
Yeah.
We talked about it all.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Also, thanks to Motus Financial for their support of Curling Nation. Motus Financial is your credit card processing and point of sale technology solutions partner. Whether you need a single credit card swiper, point of sale equipment integrated system, Motus has your credit card processing needs. MotusCC.com. Also, we have merch for sale. Some cards for playing ends. If you want some cards for playing ends because you love gambling and you love watching curling with friends, email the show, find us on social media, and get your cards and support the podcast. Now let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yes. What should we talk about first? Let's talk about this weekend.
Yes.
Halloween spiel.
Halloween spiel. How many teams? 48 teams?
46, I believe.
46. They had a couple teams back out.
I think some late minute backouts or something. You know who won?
Who won?
Me. Along with other people. Friend of show Mike Poplinski was on my team. His teacher coworker Brad Summers. They're both fourth grade teachers.
Does Brad curl?
Well, yes, obviously he curled this weekend.
He curled this weekend.
He won a bonspiel.
He's a very
has he curled before this weekend?
Middle of the road club curler.
Cool.
You know. And then Brian Coop skipped us to the win. We played well, had fun. It was nice.
Congratulations on your first ever.
That was my first ever
main event championship, bonspiel championship.
Really?
World Championship of the World.
Champion of the world. Nice.
Yep.
It's a big spiel too. 48 teams. That's even if it's a whole bunch of drunk people wearing costumes, it's still.
You're the best drunk team.
You were the best drunk costume team.
We still had to show up and win curling games. It was great.
Our team won that in 2019. So
we did.
Welcome to the club. We're the best drunk team there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was fun.
I've also won the Halloween spiel, but not for many years.
Yeah.
I haven't played for many years.
Hey, it used to be super tough.
When did you win that? Do you remember?
I won it a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know when. Probably the last time was 2008-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I won it at the old club once. That's how old I am.
Wow.
We won it one year. Me, Bonfoy, Carlson, and Aaron Gator.
Got it.
We won it in I want to say 2005, 2006, back when it was competitive.
I was just going to say, I can recall the Halloween spiel being very competitive back in the day. Lots of playdown teams because it was one of the earliest clubs to get ice. So the competitive teams would come and play because that's when they could get ice.
Yeah.
We curled more hours on Sunday than we had all slept combined.
Nice.
That was back in the day when
That
they could
checks
do that.
out.
Yeah.
I definitely curled more than I slept this weekend. So
Sweet.
yeah.
I curled in a football helmet one time. At that spiel, it's really hard to curl in a football helmet.
I would believe.
Just like, in case
assume
anybody
you were
wants to
skipping?
try it sometime. No, I was playing front end.
No.
It was,
Was it kind of flopping around a little bit when you were sweet?
no, not really, but you can't see.
I was just
Like,
gonna say, you
your
can't.
per-
No
your-
peripherals.
No, when you're trying to sweep, it's really hard to sweep. It was my sister and Nicole and Ian and myself playing front end. And, yeah, I curled. I think I played 2 games wearing a football helmet.
That's awesome.
And
nice.
I didn't.
Sounds great.
I didn't fall down, but or at least I didn't hurt myself. I probably fell down, but I don't remember. I didn't hurt myself, so
Because you had a helmet on.
because I had a helmet on.
There you go. Perfect. Awesome. It was great. I think.
How was
thought we
the?
put on a pretty
What
good-
was the best costume?
Ooh, what was the best costume?
What'd you dress up as?
I was old school PE teacher,
Okay.
gym coach.
Did you have bike shorts?
Real short shorts.
Like the bike brand?
No, I did not. I
Polyester?
I looked at purchasing a pair of those, but they were more expensive than I wanted to spend for
Fair.
a Halloween costume. No, I had some short shorts from last year, my costume, put on a white polo shirt, had a whistle
Okay.
and a stopwatch,
Okay.
some high white socks, running shoes, put on a visor, had some aviators, told a lot of people to take a lap over the course of the night.
Did anybody listen?
Hit showers? No, nobody did. So I was in character. It was fun costume.
Good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who had the best costume.
I think if you would have had like the polyester shorts,
Bike show. Yeah.
but with the bike brand, that probably would have like
I've-
authenticated it all a little bit more. But
I would agree. It would have
still.
been better. Maybe a clip. Some people suggested a clipboard. I was like, I don't want to carry a clipboard
Yeah.
around all night. That would have been a pain. So
You also need a bigger gut to be a high school sports coach.
yeah. I could have gone pillow, but
Yeah.
just
That'd have been too
whatever.
hard.
I don't know.
There was a group of guys dressed up as the cast of Letterkenny, which
Okay.
which I thought was pretty good. The guy dressed up as Katie really went for it.
Yes, he did. That's something you really can't unsee, unfortunately.
I don't know that I got their names, but they definitely went for it. That was kind of
They're
one of the
from
better costumes.
Cedar Rapids.
Oh, okay. Yep, you're right. I did talk to them later in the night. Now you say that. That does ring a bell.
Phil Burrian, was he one of those? He's from Cedar Rapids.
Might be. I don't remember. I have to go
I
back
didn't
and look.
catch names. I don't know.
Shout out to Phil if it was him and he's listening.
Yeah.
Probably
I don't
isn't,
know.
but-
There were some good costumes. Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing really stands out to me.
Nothing super stands out, but yeah, I'm sure if I thought about it a little bit more, had maybe one less beer or old fashioned on Saturday night, I might have remembered more costumes, but
Then you probably wouldn't have
Alas.
won on Sunday.
we'll see. Yeah, that's a possibility. So yeah,
Our team came back here, had booze and bacon here, and did not listen to Pat McCurdy play. So
Okay.
that was
Who was on
that
your
was
team?
great. GQP, my brother and Kenny.
Got it.
So
it was good.
we had some fun.
Sweet.
All right, should we talk
We didn't win.
more curling stuff?
Sure.
All right.
We're talking about my triumphant return to the ice.
Oh my God! What
You guys, all right.
What
So I
happened
played
Monday?
my first game of the year.
Yes.
You remember last episode, for those of you who were listening last week, my knee was very much in question.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to properly warm up by walking 2 to 3 miles around the neighborhood, trick-or-treating with my children,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that happened last night.
and drinking beer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3 beers
Yeah.
and a nice long walk
Uh huh.
and some candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a couple Advil.
Okay. Curling
And then I
candy.
went to the club and I had
Did you smash the Advil in the candy so you'd make sure you eat it?
no,
not just spit it
no,
out?
I didn't do that.
He's not a dog. He's a curler, not a dog.
No, I didn't have to like wrap it up in cheese.
Or bacon.
And then I went to the club and got myself a beer and took took a few sips of it, and then proceeded to get beat 11-0.
Oh no!
I played lead. I threw the first. I threw the. Plus, we were shorthanded.
Oh man!
Because we're always like shorthanded.
Yeah.
Basically.
I will take part of that blame.
No, that's fine. Just because you're a sub some of the times.
Yeah.
But no, we went out there, me and Matt Hamilton and Derek Richardson. So Matt skipped. And
so you threw the first three.
I threw the first three.
Derek threw the second three.
Derek threw the second three. Matt threw the last two. And we got worked.
By who?
Dan Brown skipped, and Croy Nerd Burglar played third. He was filling in.
Okay.
Yeah, we got just rocked.
Got it.
Like all the way up and down the lineup, pretty much.
Got it. Not the way to start the season.
But on the bright side, my knee hurt bad. And I was expecting it to be at least 1 or 2 levels worse than it actually was.
Okay, so it's sort of a win.
I thought it was going to be somewhere between really, really bad
and you threw an extra rock every end.
And my season is over. And instead it just hurt bad. And so I am going to be able to continue my venture on the ice this season for, well, at least another week.
At least this week.
Yeah.
Well,
you can Friday, right?
You can probably go online somewhere and buy one of those stick curling things, and you can throw it the stick if you want.
Yeah.
You can find those
I don't
online
want to
somewhere.
do that very badly.
Okay. All right. Well, sort of happy to hear that your knee wasn't awful, but
Yeah, I'm almost calling it a win. I had one slide that actually felt almost good.
wow. Almost good. I like that.
And by like my definition of almost good has really come down a lot in the last 2-3 years. But like, yeah,
Nice.
it wasn't bad.
Very good. Great. All right.
I have a funny story about this though.
Okay.
Let me just backpedal a little bit. I had a customer come in the shop today,
Okay.
brand new curler, and he's buying some shoes, and so I'm checking him out, and he's kind of looking around as I'm, pushing buttons on the register. He's looking around, and he looks over, and he sees a picture of me at the Olympics.
Oh.
And he says, "Were you on the Olympic team?" I said, "Yeah." And like, we had kind of already started a conversation about leagues, and because he's brand new to our club, he's going to start playing. And then so I said, "Yeah, I was in 2014." And then he says, "So what night do you play?" I said, "Well, I just played my first game last night, and then I'm going to play on Fridays." And he says, "Well, how'd you do?" I said, "Oh, I lost 11-0." And this is seriously, like, no kidding. I mean, this is like 8 seconds after he learned that I was an Olympian in the sport of curling.
Yeah.
I lost 11-0
Yeah.
in league at the club.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't even add in that you had another Olympian who won a gold medal.
I didn't even chime in on that.
Didn't even throw Hamilton under the bus.
Should have.
Got it. Well, there you go. Good story. Like it.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So one thing we didn't talk about last time was new World Curling Federation president, U.S. person Bo Welling.
Yeah.
Bo. You guys know Bo?
I know him a little. He was at
I've met him once, I think.
He was at House of Hearts one year.
I haven't really
I
talked
kind
to
of
him.
chatted him up a little there. I wanted to talk more golf course design.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't because that's what he does for a living.
Sure. So Bo is from South Carolina. I know Bo, fairly well. I know him well enough to send him a text message or whatever. And he's from South Carolina. He's a golf course designer.
Yep.
He got into the sport because he watched it on the Olympics in 2006 and thought this is like just the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then like basically decided I am going to go and watch this in person. So he just like took a week off of work and booked a flight, bought tickets to go to Bemidji
Yeah.
for the national championships, which was like a week after the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fell in love with curling after that. And then I think he was like a co-founder of a club in South Carolina.
Sure.
So
Yes.
in just over 15 years, he went from what is this sport to president of the World Curling Federation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Done.
How do I get on that
It's a
trajectory?
big, yeah, it's
pretty meteoric rise.
it's a pretty mediocre rise.
Well, he's a lot nicer and smarter than either of you and me.
Well, that's probably true. But you didn't have to.
Well,
rub
when you
in
put
my
it
face.
when you put it that way, yeah. but no, he has been involved in has he been involved in the governments of U.S. curling?
Yes, he was a
He
he was a director for a while, like a at-large director, because the USCA recognized his business acumen and overall ability to like get different sides to come together
Sure.
on different things.
Yeah.
Didn't he design the Tiger Woods course or something like that?
Yes,
He does work with Tiger. Yeah.
he's designed a
Yeah.
few,
Yeah.
at least a couple Tiger Woods
Yeah.
courses.
There's one in Nashville, I think, that he designed with Tiger.
Don't know.
And there might be another one.
There's a Mexico one, I believe.
Okay.
He spent a lot of time in like Dubai or
Yeah, Blue Jack National, I think, is one he may have designed with Tiger. And
I think you're right.
That is in Nashville, I think.
I
Could
thought it
be-
was in Texas, but I could
that
be
might
wrong.
be right. I don't know. Blue Jack National, I think, is one that he designed with Tiger. Anyway,
Anywho,
Yeah.
yeah.
he's
good,
a great
good.
dude. Like, I really like the guy. And he bought me a Masters hat one time because my dog ate my Masters hat. And
Nice.
and he goes to the Masters every year because it's like a work thing
Sure.
for him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he likes the Masters as well, but
Well, yeah.
it's a work trip as well.
Yeah.
And my dog ate my Masters hat. And Bo was nice enough to buy me a new one.
That's
buy me a
awesome.
replacement.
Great.
Um,
Good deal.
yeah, that was nice of him.
So Kate Caitness was in there for 12 years.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
She was in there a long time. Like,
Sounds about right.
are these? Is there like a term limit on these? Do you know, or do you just run until you keep running every 4 years? And
I don't know. There should have been.
If this was a professional
Sooner.
podcast, we would have done that research, but we didn't. So
no such thing as a professional podcast. At least
Yeah,
not a professional.
anyway.
Anyway.
I don't know. Hopefully, he's
Yeah.
there for a while. I feel
Yeah.
like he'll bring some good stuff to the curling world. Yeah, some harmony, as you
Harmony,
suggested.
sure.
Maybe brought to USA curling. I don't know.
If you ever ask him where he's from, it's never South Carolina. It's the great state of South
The
Carolina.
great
The great
state of
state
South
of-
Carolina.
Oh, it's the great state of. He's got some amazing stories too. He's got some funny stories. He's lived a good life or an interesting life.
I believe that.
He got married too, like
I saw
last
that.
summer, maybe. Maybe a year ago. I don't know.
Maybe a year ago. I feel like it was 21, maybe, that he got married. Could be wrong. Anyway,
Recently married, recently promoted to president of the World Curling Federation. Probably still building golf courses.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What else?
We got some results.
Ooh.
World mixed happened in Scotland.
Yep.
Canada won. Scotland got second.
Okay.
U.S. finished Team Pooley. They finished mid-pack in their pool, just out of the playoff run. So
Pulley? Pulley.
Pulley.
Pulley?
I thought it was Pulley.
sure,
Jeff?
Geraldo.
Yes.
Costello.
yeah, Caitlin.
Caitlin. Yeah. And Jeff.
Her
And then-
daughter has the same birthday as me. Random fact.
Random fact.
Not
You
the
have
same
a story
year.
about like everybody.
Not
that
the
we
same
talk-
year,
Not, well, yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird.
Yeah. And then I think, yeah, Rebecca Andrew was their second, and I don't remember who their lead was. Anyway, she was one of, if not the only female skip in the field.
First time ever from the U.S.
Yeah.
Congrats to her
That's
and the
pretty
whole
cool.
team in general.
Well, yeah, of course. But
Okay. Who won?
Canada, weren't you listening to him?
I was. Do you know who was skipping?
What was that? No, it wasn't. Oh, Jean-Michel Menard.
Jean-Michel Menard,
Yeah.
Mr. Outturn.
Yes.
Good for him.
I wonder how many interns he threw this week.
Oh, probably not very many if he could help it.
Man, that guy. You can't get him to throw an intern.
That
So
guy-
hard.
That guy's delivery is fun to watch too.
He's the best. I
His
like
little
that
brownie
dude.
brush and does like the little, like tips it up and then like it's like the antenna comes up.
Yep.
As he's throwing it. It's pretty fun to watch. Yeah.
Always got his hand down though, like it's off his back, and
Yep.
he's just
Yeah, I think kind of wobbles around. It's
I
fun to
dig
watch.
that
He
guy. I
probably-
dig that dude.
He seems like I feel like he would be a fun get for a charity spiel.
I agree.
Yeah. So
next event. The U.S. wheelchair team clinched first and second place.
first and second place.
Yeah, there are two
Whoa.
teams there. At the World Curling Tour event in Tallinn.
Isn't it Tallinn? Estonia?
Tallinn?
Tallinn?
Sure,
I don't know.
Estonia.
There was just a
Tallin.
Correct.
I don't know how you say it.
no.
I don't know exactly where Estonia
They ring the
is
bell
either.
when you spell it correctly in the Scripps Howard spelling bee.
Is that one of
It's like-
those
yeah.
countries that goes up like north of Poland on like the North Sea?
They're one of the
or-
Baltic ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Maybe I'm talking the same place as you. Maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Estonia.
Pretty sure it's one of the Baltics.
Estonia, Latvia, something else.
Sweet. First and second.
First and
Pretty
second.
dope.
Yeah. And the going on right now, the Pan-Continental Curling Championships.
Yes.
New
Probably.
world event.
Right.
New event qualifier for Worlds. They're taking 5 teams out of that to go to Worlds
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
on men's and women's side.
No China.
No China. It is 2 world curling zones. So the Americas, which is North and South America, and Asia Pacific, which is, I think, pretty much everything besides Europe.
Yes.
Because Australia's there, New Zealand's there, Nigeria's there.
Nigeria is there?
I think Nigeria's
They're in the
there.
B pool.
Yeah, there's an A and a B pool.
They're in the B pool.
There's a B pool.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a B pool. It's got
So,
like
in
Nigeria.
Pan-continental.
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yeah. So there's
And-
there's an A and a B pool. A pool brings 5 teams out to Worlds.
Uh-huh.
The bottom part of the A, I don't know how many teams.
Probably 1 or 2 get relegated.
Yes.
Some teams get relegated down to the B. The top teams from the B get promoted up to the A. And then the next time you play again. So if you're in the B, you can't qualify for Worlds until you get into the A and then finish top 5.
So at the Europeans, unless they changed this, the way they used to do it was the bottom 2 teams got relegated, and the top 2 teams from the B moved up, but the winner of the B got to play 1 game against the 8th place team to decide who got to go to Worlds. So in theory, you could move from the B and
from the
get
B
all the way to
go to
Worlds
Worlds.
in 1 year. I don't know if it ever happened,
That's interesting.
and I don't know if they still do it that way. But there was a time where you could move up from the B and go
Right
to
to Worlds.
Worlds that year.
Wow.
from what I read, that it's not in this pan curling thing. That's
Fair.
That's not in this.
Okay. India's in this event too, then.
In the B.
In the B.
Yeah.
India, Kenya,
Yeah, there's a number
maybe
of
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
They've got some curling people.
they're-
Qatar is there. I saw Qatar.
Ooh.
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah, there's teams that I didn't know that had places I didn't know had
Had
curling.
teams.
So
yeah.
awesome.
How many teams are in this thing?
So there are
In the B.
In the B side, there's 4 women, 8 men. The A side, there's 9 women, 8 men.
Got it. Huh.
Dropkin is there for representing the U.S.
Yeah. You beat Gushu.
Beat Gushu,
Beat the Goo.
Goo-hoo?
Gushu.
the shoe.
Yeah. Beat the Goo.
Yeah.
Why
Good
is-
solid win.
Why is Dropkin there, not Schuster?
He's
he's
the highest
playing better.
ranked team in the world rankings as of a certain date.
At a certain date. Okay.
I don't know what that date was, but
They've played more than
they are
Schuster
playing
has.
great so far
Yeah,
this
they're
year,
playing
man.
great.
They won
and they've played more, certainly more than Schuster has.
yes.
Yeah.
They won. I think they lost a final in Europe, and they won
They won the B tier at a
the
slam.
tier
I
2
think.
slam. They
Yeah.
lost a semi and a tier 1 slam. They're
Yeah.
rolling.
Yeah. They're playing well. Yeah.
And Peterson started off 2-0.
Ooh, there you go.
Yep.
I did not see that, but good for her. Yeah, they beat Japan.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
a good win.
usually.
Solid win.
Yeah. All right.
So that barely goes the rest of the week, I think, because they got to go.
Yeah.
They got to go a full round robin and then playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's gotta-
Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Yeah, that's got to go a whole week.
Is it on YouTube? I don't know.
I think it's
tried
on
to
that
watch it.
It's
recast.
on the
On the
recast.
recast?
It's on the
Oh,
curling
okay.
channel recast. You can find the
All right.
links on worldcurling.org,
There you go.
or I'm sure
Do
they've
it.
been posted on social media's things.
I kind of miss it when they just had it on YouTube. It was, seemed very easy to find.
Agreed.
Maybe this recast isn't all that hard either, but
We
It's
got
definitely
pay,
not
You
as
just got to pay for it.
you do have to pay.
Yep.
Because I knew there was a time where you could kind of watch and then you had to like pay by them showing you ads, and like that was your payment. Like that was right away when it started. I don't have any idea if
think-
that's still the case.
Maybe I think it's paid.
You got to actually pay.
I don't know, this will be done by the time, but check your internet. Well, you figure it out.
Yeah.
If you can watch us on YouTube, you can probably figure out recast.
But yeah, China's not there because of COVID travel restrictions on
Is
that they have self-imposed.
Something like that.
Got it.
That's what I heard from Becca.
Which that's what the website said too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to trust Becca.
Which means they're also not qualified.
that seems.
They're not qualified
not.
for Worlds.
All right. And they
and
probably have to go to the B
They
pool
probably
next
got to
year.
go to the B pool next year, which means they're not qualified for 2024 either.
It's going to start getting hard to get into the Olympics if you don't get to go to the Worlds.
Yep.
Where is the next Olympics? It's back in Italy.
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 Sorry, right. There we go.
Tina? Katana? No.
Cortina.
Is that right?
Yes, that's where the curling is. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
where the Olympics are.
Yeah, who cares about?
Got it.
Who cares about the other stuff?
Cool. All
The
right.
curling's in Cortina.
Yeah.
Neat.
Anything else we want to talk about before we get into all the nonsense, or should we just get into the nonsense?
I have a question.
Yeah.
We'll get into the nonsense USCA hullabaloo in a minute. Do you guys have a better success rate eating avocados before they spoil or cilantro before it spoils?
Avocados. I would say avocados for sure.
I'd probably say cilantro, but that's just because I eat more cilantro than I do avocados.
We've just
actually grow
failed miserably at both in our household.
We actually got some pots out back that we grow fresh
yeah,
cilantro,
yeah. No,
and we just
we
pull it off and just put it in there.
See, that's the way to go. You have to have it like
Yeah.
growing live. You buy it
yeah,
from the
yeah.
store, and you're
If you buy the
screwed.
big bulk, you got like a day.
Yeah, see, I always have to buy the big bunch, and I always
Because they don't sell it in little
Yeah.
bunches.
No.
but
Because
you
because then they wouldn't sell enough of it. Because
know.
everybody needs a small bunch.
hate it.
I don't need a quarters. I mean, they're not going to sell a quarter's worth of cilantro, but that's about how much.
That's
I
how
need
much
every
you need.
time. Yeah.
It's like hot
Like
dogs in packs of 8.
Ridiculous.
And hot
20
buns in
freaking
packs
little
of
leaves.
10.
You know, 20 of them little stupid leaves
I
to make
agree.
for
Yeah.
taco
I
night.
agree.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
buy a whole bunch, and taco night gets pushed back one extra day because whatever, soccer game or little league or something. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's taco night, and you pull out your cilantro, and it's
Dead.
garbage.
Dead.
Slimy, it
Dude,
stinks.
agreed.
That
It will.
happened to me tonight, in case you can't tell.
It's worse.
My avocados, only marginally better.
Slightly on the mushy side.
God.
Yeah. I feel like I have more success with avocados because when I buy avocados, I buy them for the one purpose. If I'm gonna make whatever.
Guac or
I'm not like, oh, I need. I don't. You can buy one avocado at a time.
I know,
You don't have to buy
but-
like 6.
No, that's
I don't
true.
eat-
But
I
like,
don't
we
eat
can't
that.
even do that because it's like
I don't eat that much
Are they
avocado.
called bushels of avocados? What's a
Ooh, I don't know. What a smattering of avocados would be.
I don't know. I've never bought more than one of those like 4 bags
Yeah.
of it, but like I feel like if I had more time in my life, I would never buy an avocado until like a half an hour before taco night started. But then I know I'd get the ones that are so hard you can't even like use them because like
There
my
is,
success
yeah.
rate is
There-
just horrible.
there is a very small window for avocados.
It's really.
I feel you look a bit distraught.
I am
about this
super
one.
distraught about it because we just keep failing over and over. I mean, like, when I get a good avocado
Yeah,
and I like at my house
yeah.
and we use it at the right time, it's like cause for celebration. That's how often we just miss it.
I like it. Got it.
Anyways, that was my wife's topic for the night. I ask her every night before I go to the podcast
Yeah.
if she's got anything I wanted to talk about or she wants me to talk about. She never listens anyways, but
Yeah.
tonight she
that
said,
was-
what
that
do you
was
think
what
about the
she
whole
suggested.
avocado cilantro situation?
Yeah.
So what my wife does, she'll buy a bushel of avocados, and then whenever they're ripe, she'll basically ice cream scoop them out
Yeah.
onto a pan of wax paper and freeze them.
Whoa.
That works.
Yeah, so then you got
And
a
when
little,
they thaw, they don't get all like mushy and
well
gross.
when you freeze them, they'll you put the little balls on like you're making
Sure.
cookies.
I
right?
got you.
And you put that in the freezer.
Yeah.
Let them harden up.
Yeah.
And then scrape them off the pan, put them in a little baggie or something, put them back in the freezer.
Yeah.
And now you've got little things of
A little.
avocado that are ripe and good, and then you just thaw them out. Boom.
And they don't get mushy when you thaw
You
them.
don't get mushy or brown and gross or
Well, you take out like a little ice cream scoop of what you need.
Yeah.
Take out however much you need for the time,
Yeah.
and then
I would just think when they thaw that they'd get like mushy and gross, but maybe no.
not really.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I'm
Learn
going
something
to
new.
try this.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. This is
Dude.
fascinating.
Fascinating. Boom.
Let's
It's
talk about
Halloween,
the
yes.
I'll have your people contact my people. Will figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
have a
wrap-
Lynn call.
Yes.
Yeah.
do
Marissa?
that.
Because
Wrap
you can buy like individual packs of avocados that are already mushed up. Then you just open up the top and you got a single serving. It's basically a single serving thing of avocado, but
Got it.
those are really expensive.
Yeah. All avocados are. But every once in
Yeah.
a while you get them on sale and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
let's do this. And then
Get them all, get them
we-
all on
you
sale.
know,
and
Then you
freeze them.
forget about it,
We
and then
can
taco
screw 'em
night's
all up
ruined.
anyways.
Boom. Worst taco night ever. Got it.
Yeah.
fascinating. Okay, if anybody has any useful
Cilantro or-
avocado or cilantro tips, feel free to send those into the show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the USCA.
Oh yeah. Talk about avocados.
Talk about an overripe avocado right there.
Talk about spoiled fruit.
Yeah. All right. So let's just. God damn it.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. So let's just start with let's baseline some facts here.
Okay, GNCC removed as a voting region from the United States Curling Association at the members' assembly. Oh my God, we got to talk about that meeting too.
Yeah.
Do we have to use parliamentary procedure to talk about the meeting?
Parliamentary procedure. Drink.
There was a meeting.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch it, if you watching this show, there's a pretty good chance you watched that.
We should put air quotes around meeting because I don't know what that was, but Jesus.
Gong show?
Yeah.
Suboptimal.
All right. So there was the meeting, General Assembly meeting.
Members assembly meeting.
Yep.
Where there was a vote.
There was a vote to so the board already voted.
Yes.
The board members already voted back in July
Yes.
to remove GNCC
Yes.
for not complying with the rules.
With the bylaws of the USCA.
True story.
And then this was a vote to ratify that decision from the summer by the members' assembly. And the people who got to vote in that were all of the members, associations, and clubs that paid their dues on time.
Basically, it's like the House versus the Senate. So this would be the House vote, which is each region gets a number of votes based on their
Population.
size of paying members.
Correct.
Like Wisconsin got like
2,100 or
2,100, something like that, and at large got so much, and Minnesota got.
Minnesota only had like 600 and something because they must not have paid on time.
I believe St. Paul didn't pay last year.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of clubs because there's like
But,
5,000 members.
Yeah.
There's like 5,000 curlers in Minnesota, but they only had like 600 votes.
Yeah. I know St. Paul wasn't a member. I know Frogtown hasn't been a member. I don't know about
St.
a lot
Paul,
of the other
yeah,
clubs,
St. Paul's
but
back, but I don't know if they paid on time or I don't know when that was.
I think that they didn't pay. They didn't resolve that situation early enough, so they didn't get to vote because they've got 1,000, 1,200 members themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AAC the Athletes Advisory Council has a third of all the votes.
Yes.
So that's that was like 6,000 something,
And that's,
Yes, roughly.
That's
roughly.
mandated. So,
Mandated by federal law.
yep.
Yes.
Can't change it.
Nope. Not even if you wanted to, which a
Doubles-
lot of people seem like they want to.
Double stamp, no erases.
Right. True.
So they ended up
So-
voting the GNCC out.
The end of voting
That was the
GNCC,
result of this vote.
Yes.
There
Out
was
of regional representation vote.
Yeah. So, from what I understand, the reason for the vote is the GNCC region did not have had members of their region not pay USCA dues,
Yes.
which was well below the 95%.
Yes.
There's a 95% compliant rate where if you're a region, you need to have 95% of your regional members, which are all the clubs, pay dues.
Yes.
And I had thought if they were like just below it, like hopefully they can work something out, but they were like 46%.
Something.
It
There
was
was
like
dispute
49.
and
There
arguments constantly on this
Yeah.
thing about it, but
So the number the USCA gathered by as was asked and answered by the members and then answered by the USCA. The USCA said that they reached out to every club and asked if they were open or not. And then they compared that to what dues were paid. So that's how they got their percentage.
right.
Yeah,
So-
like Craig said, there was much debate about about numbers, and it, yeah, it dragged on for quite a while.
Also, part of the problem was they used Microsoft Teams and not Zoom.
Yeah.
Teams is just awful. It was just.
It didn't go great.
No, it wasn't.
Imagine it being 2022 and struggling with technology.
Yeah. So there was some of that. There was an early vote to end debate, and at the time that didn't sit well with me because we all watched it. At the time, that didn't sit well with me because all these clubs should get to say their piece. I have since learned that the rules were each voting person gets 10 minutes. And they had already gone through their 10 minutes. So when the motion was made to end debate, there were only 2 persons' hands raised, which you can't see on the YouTube feed that we watched. We couldn't see.
Okay.
But the people that were part of the meeting, they could scroll down and see. So there were only 2 people's hands raised at the time that motion was made.
Okay.
And those people had already spoken.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
That's a new bit of information that I had not previously had.
yeah.
I still think it leaves a really crappy taste in your mouth, especially if you're on the losing side of an argument.
Absolutely.
I had the exact same thing happen to me in a USCA board meeting seemingly a million years ago when we were mid-argument about a format change for national championships. And somebody called the question, and I said, "What the hell does that mean?" And they said, somebody else said, "That means we vote." And I said, "Why the hell are we voting? We're not done arguing one side or the other."
Yeah.
And we were done. But
The messaging around all this from the board, I think from the board and the GNCC has been terrible. I've heard on different podcasts the GNCC side of it, and some of their points make sense. Like,
sure.
but like, I don't know what all the GNCC gripes are. I would like to hear them. I'm sure they're reasonable. But there's been no town hall to discuss all this before this, and this was the only venue that has been put out for the discussion of these issues. So I really think there should have been at least 1 or 2 town halls before this. Because all the board has put out is GNC is getting kicked out for breaking the rules. And then really nobody explained the math until it was asked at the member assembly meeting.
Sure.
That should have been out well before this.
Sure. One thing I don't understand exactly is people are saying that this is COVID related. Perhaps you guys can shed some light on this for me. That this is all happened during COVID, but there was a year after that where basically everybody was like the first year of COVID. I get it. There was very few people, very few clubs.
There were
that
very
were
few
playing,
clubs that were actually open.
and
USCA
like nobody had
suspended
to
all the
pay.
rules.
Nobody had to pay anything. But then it was really the next year. Is kind of how I see it, because like last curling season, if you played,
If you were open, you played, and you were part of a region, then you had to pay.
yeah. And so what? How does that make it COVID hardship, I guess. If you're open, because like COVID's done.
Yeah.
Done. I mean, like I say that with air quotes for those of you listening.
Yeah.
COVID's kind of done last season, at least as far as
So our membership
curling population
was, our
went.
membership was down because of COVID.
Sure.
It wasn't down that much. It was maybe down.
I think it was about 20%.
Okay.
Was it 20%?
Sure. Let's say it was 20. Let's say it was 20%.
I thought it was less than that, but yeah.
Let's just say it was 20. So our membership is
close.
down, but like you don't pay. Club's not paying anyways. It's a pass through cost.
Right, but there's still like if we're down, a 20% hit for our club is, we can absorb that. Our club can. Other clubs can't.
Sure.
So that's not just 20%. That's not just a 20% off of the USCA dues. That's membership dues for
Right.
the
No,
club
I get
as
it.
well.
I get it.
A 20% hit is not a big deal for us.
No, okay, but
So-
what's the hit to the club? Because that was the money that they brought in, that they then sent on to the USCA, is a pass through. It's not
Right.
it's not a club expense. So are they just saying that they didn't want to charge their members that extra $30, and they wanted to keep it for themselves for the club?
I'm guessing revenues were down because of COVID. During COVID, I'm sure clubs still had expenses.
Sure.
Some clubs aren't paid off, so they still have a loan payment. They still
Sure. No, I get all that, but
I think
but-
it was like what you were saying, Craig, that they just didn't pass that money on to USA Curling. Like they were not members of USA Curling, and they either didn't do it in a timely fashion, or they didn't collect it, or didn't make it part of their dues. And I think that was a lot of the smaller clubs, from what I understand.
sure. Okay.
yeah.
Like I guess my question though, like I'm gonna go back. Like, if these clubs collected the $30, that is USCA dues. It's their. They have two choices. They either pass it on to the USCA because it's USCA dues,
Yeah.
or they tell their membership that we are not going to be USCA members and your dues increase to $30 because we're keeping that money. Or they reduce their dues by $30.
yeah.
It gets one of those things. It's not a club expense.
Yeah. So there was also a GNCC. The GNCC board ruled that GNCC clubs don't have to pay USCA dues if they don't want to.
Sure. That doesn't work with the bylaws of the greater association at all,
Correct. With the bylaws, with the USCA, the way I understand the USCA bylaws puts the onus on the region to enforce payment.
Correct. Which is probably not the right
dues.
way to do it.
Correct, because the dues used to be passed through the region to the USCA. Now the USCA changed that so that the clubs actually pay the dues and bypass the region. So GNCC took the stance of like, well, we're not involved in that chain of command anymore, and we're not involved in that payment chain. So it's on the USCA. It's not on the GNCC. It's on the USCA to enforce all that. That was, from my understanding, that's their position on it.
Okay.
They were the only region to take that position, which is part of the reason I think they got voted out, is the consequences of that.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
I
That's
think
a bit
that the
simplistic.
USCA and their whole membership structure needs a pretty massive overhaul. But
I think they tried
that-
overhauling all that, and here we are.
Correct. It didn't go well, whatever they tried before.
The rollout.
And which was, maybe a compromise or, whatever. It's complicated, and I don't know all the details, and I'm also not going to get into all of what I do know, because no matter what, it's going to be a fight an argument.
Yeah.
Both sides have very legitimate points. But according to the rules of the USCA, I don't think that there was a choice but to remove the GNCC as a voting member. Now, one thing that I take a little exception to the term that the GNCC's kicked out. And my club got kicked out. Well, your club didn't get kicked out.
You stopped paying dues.
Your club didn't pay. If your club continued to pay, you still got to vote at that meeting. You still got all of the other benefits.
They all got put into the
Your
at-large.
region, your region doesn't have a vote anymore. I'm not saying that like this whole. I'm not saying it sounds like I'm defending the USCA here, and I'm not, because I think that the whole membership structure needs to change, probably in a direction toward what the GNCC is talking about. I don't know that it needs to go exactly where the GNCC is talking, but like any curler who paid, any club who paid, they're still a member. They still got every right that anybody in any region that did pay.
All the rest of the regions are following the rules, and most of them, I think, voted to remove GNCC, who was not following the rules.
Yes, I think so this is one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Technically, I think technically the board was correct to vote out GNCC, but doesn't mean they're actually like morally right.
Correct.
They are technically
correct. They are correct to do
correct.
what they did. And
morally, like, come on, man. Like, no.
They needed to stop being stubborn
Both sides, I think, need to be
shitheads. Yeah. I'm going to swear.
Whoa.
Stubborn shitheads on both sides.
Yeah.
They could have probably worked something out. And now it's causing extra problems. Because there was already problems, but now it's just compounded them all.
Yeah.
And so now Dean gets to fix it.
Yep. Well,
is that our segue to the next part?
Segue to the next part.
So, yeah.
It's now Dean's problem.
Oh, actually, I'm going to go back one sec.
Okay.
How this should have been phrased. Like, the USCA was stupid. The board was stupid, in my opinion.
Their communication has been awful on
Their
this.
communication wasn't very good either. But they were also really stupid to ratify this vote during the summer, or to make this vote happen in the summer, and then have it framed the way it was. That now the members' assembly is voting to ratify the board's decision to remove the GNCC. What they should have done was put a motion together for the members' assembly where all of these different regions, the end result would have been the same, but it wouldn't have been the board at fault if somebody would have put a motion together that said, we are going to have a vote to see if the GNCC gets to maintain its voting rights or like if we, how's it going to phrase it? I had it in my head a minute ago. The whole members' assembly is going to vote to see if the GNCC has to follow the bylaws that everybody else does. And if not, they need to be removed. But it wouldn't have been on the USCA as the decision maker that they're out, and you're just confirming our vote. Their communication sucked all the way around.
That goes back to the point where I made before, was like they should have had a town hall. The USCA, the board, should have had a town hall to explain all of this.
Yeah.
But they waited till the vote at the members' assembly to explain everything. They got forced to explain everything by people asking questions. And the whole debate over teams was just chaos. Absolute fucking chaos.
It was a lot of...
That was never going to work out well. That wouldn't have worked out well probably on Zoom either, but like, because it was going to be a shit show no matter what. It would have been more fun in person because there might have been a fist fight.
There would definitely have been at least one fist fight.
There would have been things thrown. Could have brought your football helmet along.
Might have needed it.
All
Might have
back.
needed your football
Might have
helmet.
needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we said, now Dean
We'd have
has
been
to
sitting back
figure it
drinking
out.
beer and yeah.
All right.
But
it was
yeah.
a long show. It was 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Woo, baby.
Yeah,
4.5
that
hours.
was.
Yeah.
It was like 4 because the first half an hour they were trying to figure out teams.
Sure.
Maybe first
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Fair.
Um,
All right, so let's
So-
go to the next topic.
yeah. Jeff Plush is out.
CEO
He
Jeff
resigned.
Plush.
CEO Jeff Plush resigned. Also, like, I think Jeff should have said a lot more.
Oh my God.
He didn't say it. Like, I can understand why he's not saying anything, because there's still the Players Association, National Women's Soccer League investigation going on, which I assume that's why he's not saying anything. I'm not-
My sense is there is a lot of legal mumbo jumbo preventing both sides from really coming out and airing their grievances. And I feel like a lot of people maybe aren't taking that into account when airing their opinions of what is or is not going on.
Yes. As
But
we
I
said
think,
last episode,
like
we don't
you
know what's
both
going on.
just said, Jeff definitely could have said a lot more. I don't know if it would have changed a lot of opinions. I think there are a lot of opinions that are made up, and no matter how much information comes out, whether it be from the board or Jeff or any other report, are going to change their mind, and that, that's the way it is. But it certainly was not a good look.
I thought he needed to fight for his job then. For him to keep his job, he needed to fight for his job then.
Yes.
He had a big national stage
Yes.
in front of the people who actually vote.
Right.
He needed to fight for his job,
Yeah.
and he didn't.
So
Because obviously the board was not going to fight for him. Based on the statement,
Apparently-
all the statements that the board didn't make.
right. So I mean, the board should have spoken up too. But all right, so they spoke up and said that they supported him.
Why?
At one point.
Why?
Well, because
Why did they support him?
I'm going to tell you what I have heard
Right, but
through the grapevine, which
On
is
statement.
not legally binding.
Statements.
Because nothing's legally binding. That's
What
why
statements-
nobody is saying anything.
what statements did the board make that they
Well,
support
they said
Jeff?
we stand by him,
Right.
and that he can do his job or
That
whatever.
is not good enough.
No, I don't necessarily
Yeah,
agree with that. But what I'm saying
That's
is
not good enough.
he made statements. He made his claim or his argument to the board and to athletes.
To the AAC.
I don't know if it was to the AAC. I don't
Or-
know if it was to the kind of the all of the national
'Cause there's a-
program or if it was both. I mean, like the AAC.
Not the AAC, but there's like
The
an
AAC
athlete.
is part of the board.
There's
like,
an athlete group call, right? Every once in a while, there's an athlete
yeah.
meeting. So was it that?
So it's probably at one of those
Probably-
or
okay.
something. I don't know for sure. But essentially, my understanding of this is he was convincing enough to them that he did what he legally could have or should have done in his position.
Yeah.
And
To be clear, at the women's soccer
at the
league.
women's soccer league
Yes.
under the allegations of
Right. Yeah.
assault
But
while
that's all,
he
I
was
think
the
that's all we have to
commissioner.
say. Just
Okay.
at women, when he was in the women's soccer, just to clarify that
Sure.
you're
And
we're not talking about issues that arose within USA curling.
Correct.
We're talking about
issues that happened
he was
prior
saying
to
that,
him
like,
coming to curling.
Yeah.
And apparently he defended himself well enough in that to that audience that they were like, okay. But then when he wouldn't defend himself to the public, and like basically from what I'm hearing, he refuses because of legal counsel. because he is afraid he's going to get sued
Yeah.
by somebody involved in the soccer world.
Sure.
And if he won't defend himself because legal counsel is telling him not to, then people will just keep attacking and attacking and attacking, and
And that's
there's no fucking
yeah.
choice. Excuse my language.
No,
Whoa,
I
I didn't
I
even
didn't
mean
hear-
to let that one go. There's no choice but to he's got to go because he can't.
There's Jeff nor the board put out any narrative or story to support. All they said was, "Trust us, it's okay." Mm-hmm. That is with this.
We did an investigation
with
of
this,
our own.
with this situation.
They didn't
that
tell
is-
us what that investigation
That is
was.
not good enough.
I agree.
With this situation, that is not good enough. So, the board and Jeff didn't say anything. I understand why they weren't, but they certainly needed to say why they weren't, because their absence of any voice on their side was getting filled up by the other side.
Right.
So,
And I mean, there got to be a point. If he would have come out, whatever, 2 days, a week and a half even, after this whole report and shitstorm started,
That's a great.
maybe he could have defended himself and kept his job. But would maybe not too. I mean, he definitely wouldn't have been able to in some people's eyes.
yeah.
But in other people's eyes, maybe he would have. I mean, I have no idea what happened, but he
yeah.
didn't defend himself publicly, so
It seemed like the board was relying on, they were hanging their hat on a couple things. One, this blowing over, not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Two, waiting for the second report, because Jeff didn't comment on the first report.
right for
So waiting for
that
the-
legal counsel, which was stupid.
So
but
waiting for the second report to come out, and that second report better say that Jeff is a world champion for athlete safety.
right,
It better say that, otherwise what's the board going to say?
right. And apparently, he is cooperating with this other investigation, or he already has finished cooperating with it. But he never said that. This is word on the street. I'm pretty comfortable saying that he is or has finished cooperating with that investigation. I don't know what the results of that will be, but he
don't know
never
either.
said
Yeah.
that. If he would have said it, maybe that would have bought him
Maybe
some
it
more
changes
time.
the
Maybe
narrative.
not.
Well,
I have no clue.
yeah, but him and or the board certainly needed to say
something.
something more than what they did.
Yes.
I think
Because
if
what
you-
they did was
yeah.
terrible.
If USA Curling wanted to keep him there and they were confident in his abilities, they needed to get way more out in front of it than
They needed to make him get
yeah.
out
Or
in front of it.
I
One or
agree.
the other,
him,
you know,
him would have been better, but they it was the communication was certainly lacking.
So on the AAC, you've been an AAC rep,
yes.
and as a result, you've been on the board.
Yes.
So your opinion on these statements, these statements were put out by the board.
Uh-huh.
Were they written by the board, or is because the USCA staff is involved in? Do you think the USCA staff is involved in those statements as well, or is it just from the board? Because they say they're posted on the USCA site, but the statements say they're from the board and signed from the board.
Sure. I think that
Does
most
staff
things that are
involved?
written and or signed by the board do originate from board members. They're written by somebody on the board. Could be the chair, could be
Somebody who decides to write it.
a collective of people.
Sure.
But I think that
But the board agrees upon the language that comes out, and
yes, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the board's unanimous
yeah,
on a decision or a statement, but what it means is that Well, like in any representative democracy, you know, like I don't know, like you take there's a stance that your state takes, that your company takes, that your board takes, and you have to back it up, or you have to agree with it, at least not publicly disagree with it.
Yeah, you may not be behind it 100%.
You might not be behind it 100. Yeah,
you said your piece, and this is what we're going with. So
that's yes.
That's what you're going with.
Yes, and you know it's definitely not always comfortable, because I'm sure that there were people
that didn't agree,
but
yeah,
and you know, the majority of them did. Was it a close majority? Was it who knows?
Yeah, was it 5-4? Was it 8-1?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I mean, like, the thing is, there was meetings like every day for, or maybe not every, like 5-6 times a week for 3 weeks after this report came out.
Wow.
Where the board is meeting, or the AAC is meeting to discuss what happened in the board meeting the day before, or the HR department is meeting, or the league, you know, whatever, all that stuff.
Wow.
HR committee, I should say. And like, I don't know, I'm so glad I'm out of it. But like, I have enough understanding of the workings of how it was that I can imagine it was just a disaster, like, for everybody involved. And
because they certainly portrayed that.
Yeah, I mean, but like, they needed somebody. Jeff needed to speak up and defend himself, and he didn't. And he might have been a great leader. He might have been. Maybe this other report's going to say he was amazing. He did everything he possibly could. Maybe it's going to say he was a bigger scumball than everybody's saying. Who knows?
I don't know.
But he didn't defend himself. He let the athletes get attacked. He's not a leader anymore. I don't see any other choice. He had to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, he resigned, but whatever.
Yeah.
That could have been a forced resignation. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever find that out officially.
Yeah.
But whatever. He might as well have been fired, as far as I'm concerned, because he didn't lead. But he might have been the best thing that ever happened to the sport, and he screwed it up by not coming out and defending himself. Or he screwed it up because he knew that he just got caught and he was a scumbag. I don't know. That's maybe a little harsh terminology, but you know what I'm getting at. Like, maybe he did more or than we even know.
Maybe he didn't do enough when he was commissioner. Maybe he didn't do enough.
Right.
I don't know, because
I don't know.
I also don't know.
Yeah. Wasn't there, didn't read the report.
So we'll see how
Now
long
we got
Dean.
Dean.
Friend
Friend of the show, Dean.
Friend of the show, Dean.
I don't know if he's going to be friend of the show anymore.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
see.
Let's start attacking him.
No. Dean.
Wow, Dean's the best, man.
So one of the big things I think Dean brings to this is communication skills.
He's good at talking on a microphone.
He's a marketer. His background is marketing. He's a writer, stand-up comedian, podcast host.
He wears many hats. I agree.
He wears many hats.
As an interim
Curling commentator.
Yeah, as interim, hopefully he'll try and right the ship sooner rather than later. I don't know. Do you see him becoming permanent, or do you see this just as an
who knows,
interim?
man? Like
Yeah.
I think that depending on what happens with sponsors that were in place or were trying to be in place.
Sure.
I did hear some rumors that some sponsors were on the verge of coming in.
I heard that there was big announcements coming in, but I also heard people are threatening to leave. Like, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's false. What's made up, and like
the Earth is flat. Oh
no,
that's not true.
Kyrie, it's not.
That's a different podcast.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
But like, I mean, I don't know. Like, if this isn't over, and I mean, we are as a sport really close to things being incredibly bad from an association point of view, because
especially since
at any minute,
Schuster won gold 2018, and look where we are now. Did we just piss it all away?
Yeah. I mean, like, right now, the USOC, if they think that things are spiraling out of control, they can take over NGB status. That will mean...
Could they give it to somebody else?
They could create their own, but they wouldn't. They would take it over themselves. And if they take it over themselves, that means that, like, 2 teams, men's, 2 teams, women's, 2 teams, mixed doubles, and...
There's 100% of your funding right there.
And one very small developmental pool is 100% of your funding. Everything else curling related, whatever.
Have fun.
Good luck.
It's
Have
for
fun.
fun.
And I mean, like, there is no more TV stuff. There is no more grassroots stuff. And, like, you can bash the USCA till the cows come home for doing horrible work on this or that or the other thing. But they're doing things in all of those areas, and you might not agree with how they're doing any of them or how they're doing most of them. But if the USOC took over as NGB, there would be none of them anymore.
Yeah.
Ever. Well, like, until there was some other new NGB. And that is not something that would happen even remotely close to soon. There are other NGBs that got taken over by the USOC, and they got nothing.
They're still in the dark days, dark ages. Yeah, that stinks.
And who knows? Like, if all these sponsors walk, or if they, like, somehow the board all gets ousted, and the USOC looks at it and, like, sees that this is just a dumpster fire that they don't want anything to do with, like, they could drop us immediately, and that's it. There's a couple teams that are getting money to go to the Olympics and train for that, and there is no other support, no other grassroots. You will...
Yucky.
I mean, how often do you see luge on TV? Never.
The Olympics.
The Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, at least curling you get on TV sometimes.
Occasionally, yeah.
You know? I mean...
Yeah. Which is another thing. Like, I haven't seen any announcements for locations for national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That are coming up in 2 months. 3 months?
Depends when they have them, but
3 months?
Yep.
Like, they got to be decided by a certain point to go to Worlds. So...
Agreed. But, yeah, so...
Time's a wasting here, so...
Yep.
All right, we're up to like an hour, a little more than an hour. Do we want to continue talking or make this a really long show, or should we just find something else to talk about and call it a day on all this stuff?
I think we can call it a day.
I think so. I think that we've said some things. Yeah. Everybody could have done a lot of things better.
There's gonna be more coming out, that's for sure, on what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, Dean, the statement said that Dean's gonna host a town hall at some point.
Neat.
Okay.
Soon, I hope.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's not end the show on a crappy note. Yesterday was Halloween. Top 3 Halloween candies, and go.
Twix.
Okay.
Kit Kat.
Twix, Kit Kat.
This is my surprise. Rolos.
Rolos.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated. You?
Reese's, Kit Kat, M&M's.
Regular or peanut?
Regular.
I prefer the peanut these days, but regular's solid.
Yeah, it's a little more protein for you. That's good.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard
Twix.
to turn down a Reese's.
Yeah.
A Reese's cup. It's
really
good.
The white chocolate
Twix.
ones? Oh, those are good.
Skittles.
That's another
I gotta go a little sugar. I got not all chocolate.
Sugar?
So yeah.
Yeah. Skittles are good.
I mean, we can't.
Yeah.
What do we think about the World Series? Let's make a quick prediction. It's 2-1 as of like right now.
Go
It
Twins.
just became 2-1 Phillies.
Go Twins.
Twins are out.
Oh, damn it.
Pretty
Are you
pretty
cheering
Okay.
for the Phillies who have
notorious, just super crappy fans? Just
yes,
every Philly
notoriously terrible fan base?
fan. Yeah.
Or the cheating franchise of the Houston Astros?
Go Brewers.
I'd cheer for the Brewers.
I'll go
You gotta eat that
Phillies,
shit.
but I don't. Only because I like their sandwiches. That's it.
Do you like with provolone or with like the
Whiz,
cheese
cheese whiz.
Yeah.
I'm a whiz. I'm more of a
I
whiz.
understand that.
And onions and whiz.
So I like the Steelers more than the Cowboys, so I'm gonna go Phillies.
Steelers are from Pittsburgh, not Philly, though.
Same state.
Same state, correct.
Nice.
I think that the Astros are probably a better team, but man, I hate them. Like I still can't get over this cheating thing from back in the day.
Did they take away all the trash cans from the Astros before they came in the States?
Whatever. I don't even care how
They'll find a new way to
egregious
cheat.
it was. I don't care if other teams were doing it. I care that nobody got in trouble. None of the players.
No players
got
got
in
in trouble.
No
the
players
GM and
got
the coach.
in trouble
They
at
got
all.
GM and the coach.
They got in trouble, but it was still worth it.
It was worth it. Yes,
was-
it was
they barely-
absolutely
won.
100% worth it for them to cheat and win. And like, if you set that precedence, like more people are going to want to cheat and win. Like that's
All right.
Same thing as
Bull.
Bill Belichick.
Bill's
crap.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Cheat to win, still worth
That's
it.
it.
So it's November and it's 70 degrees outside. What do we think
Also
about this?
I rode the motorcycle to work today.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Go out and vote.
Oh yeah.
Go out and vote.
November 8th.
Yeah, soon. If you haven't voted already, haven't voted early.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go vote. Whatever. Country could crumble around us.
Vote Quimby.
Might as well choose somebody a
Go
side.
Quimby.
Era.
Yeah. I watched.
All right, that thing.
Okay.
I think we're about good.
Yeah, we're
That's
good.
it.
Yeah.
We don't
much.
need to talk about
We'll do the rest in
Simpsons
post.
anymore.
All right. Buy merch. Buy cards.
Eastbound down. Load them up and truck it.
All right, that's it. Season 3, episode 2. We couldn't come up with a name because we talked about so much stuff. If you want to get in touch with the show, and let us know who we should interview, do that. We are at Curling Nation at curlingnetwork.com. Otherwise, find us on Twitter, Facebook. You can text all of us. I think we all have Twitter handles. I don't know. They're out there. I have a Twitter handle. Craig does. Joel does.
I do.
Yeah. Find us there.
The show does.
The show does.
The show does.
Yeah, why not? Whatever. Just get in touch with us. Let us know who you want us
Who
to
knows?
talk
Maybe
to.
Twitter will still be around by the time the show comes out.
Yeah. Hey, will you pay our $8 and get a blue check mark or whatever?
Nope.
No,
thanks.
pass. All right. Anyway, Twitter, Facebook. Find us on social medias. If you want to listen to the show, do that. Amazon, Apple, whatever. Find us on your favorite podcatcher. Doesn't
YouTube.
matter. YouTube. Yeah, because you should watch us because we're handsome.
I
And,
feel less handsome tonight than normal.
I'm sorry to hear that. I feel more handsome.
You look more handsome.
Thanks. All right. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks again to Motus Financial. Get in touch with us if you want some cards for playing ends or merch. Otherwise, I think that's it. Mike McDermott, Joel Dietz, Craig Brown.
Craig.
Greg. Out.